Wholesome Roots. It is downright cool today, if you can believe that. It is in the 70s this morning and I am just shocked by it. So we're headed out here to hopefully get some weeding done. You all right? Come on, girls. Keep going. Keep going that way. Come here. Just around the corner. No. Grab Fancy too. Come on, Fancy. You're the most stubborn, so if I get you to come. Look, all this open space. Yay, come on, guys. Come on in, the eating's good. Get some grub on. Yum. Yay. That's so yummy. Daddy was right, you guys love it over here. Nom nom, so much yum yum. I don't think anybody's gonna eat any hay today. We got this big, well, it's not a big area actually because we had to use so much fencing for the lane coming in, but it's very lush. So it goes all the way back to those trees, and then we're right in setting the fence up and all the way to the pond almost. So it might not last the whole week, but while they're here and eating, they're gonna be full bellies. Full bellies. Lots and lots to eat. This is wonderful. Good decision, Daddy. They look happy. Oh, that's privet. Okay, good. Good job, kiddos. Oh, yep. Eating that blackberry. See what I told you guys? If you saw our Forage Friday video on blackberry, I talked about how much the goats love it. You see, she's eating it, she's eating it, she's eating it. And there's even some blackberry fruit over there when some lucky goat gets to it. So even when they don't have diarrhea, they gobble up blackberry because it's full of vitamins. Look at you guys go. You're like machines. You're like machines. Happy herd. It makes me happy when I see them get to go in a new area, stuff themselves silly. Good job, Ryan.
Thanks.
What did you think?
I think it's better for them to strip all this stuff as clean as they possibly can, and then I'll hit it with the tractor. So that way it's not wasted. They get to eat. It's cleaned up better. It'll be better in the long run for everybody.
I agree.
I'm sort of glad I didn't make it bigger, because then they would probably overeat. They're gonna overeat anyway.
Yeah, today's gonna be a watch for diarrhea day. And I just reordered my GI soother. So hopefully I'll have enough to get us through any difficult cases. Usually when it's diarrhea from overeating, it's not as severe. Oh, they are happy. The boys harvested some tomatoes and peppers. Rowan said he wants that to be for a meal. I said, okay, buddy. I'll make you something with those. I've got a big old pile of weeds. See all those weeds I pulled? So I got the weeds pulled out of this tropical bed here, where we have our peppers and sugar cane and other stuff. And then I began working on the peanut bed. So there's a lot of little weeds still in here that I have to fine tune, and some of the bigger ones. So these are wild tomatillas. We don't want them reseeding again. We've done pretty well to get rid of some of our more invasive weeds that we've had in this area, but these tomatillas are one of the worst. This section right here had really tall tomatilla, so you see that the peanuts didn't do as well because the tomatilla had overshadowed them. But this section here only had small tomatillas in it. So the peanuts have done much better, and you see that they're blooming. And those blooms will produce an ovary, which will then fall down to the ground and go underground and develop a peanut fruit. So we are looking forward to that. Something has been nibbling on it, and it looks like an herbivore. I don't know if it was Mr. Beaver or Mr. Deer, but somebody's been in here. I started to get this side cleaned out of tomatilla and other weeds, mostly tomatilla. You see the tomatilla just grow in huge patches. All you have to do is let one tomatilla plant go and they reseed. The rest of this is just history, guys. We're just done. I'm gonna have Ryan take the tractor through and mow it down and focus on a fall garden. Right, Ryan? We just can't, there's no saving that. There's nothing we can do. There's kale in there, but I ain't saving it. That's too much weeds.
Not unless some crop mob wants to just come.
This I can work with. I've got some pokeweed coming up in the asparagus bed, along with some raspberries and some other weeds that I need to get in there and remove. But I want to focus on the peanuts right now because they need open soil where they can deposit their ovaries so that they can grow fruit. So it's extremely important for a peanut crop to not have weed competition. So that's what I'm going to finish working on today. Hopefully, if it stays cool enough. It's already going up into the 80s again, so that 70-degree weather was just a few hours that if I had realized we were going to have 70-degree weather, I would have been out here earlier. I didn't know we were having a cool off, but it's okay. A little bit of garden therapy is probably good for me right now. Those of you that follow us on Instagram and Facebook and are in our Facebook group and Facebook page know that we had a difficult loss. It wasn't one of our farm animals, it was one of our indoor pets, so you guys don't know him. He was one of our cats. His name was Fatso. He was a really nice, sweet kitty. Back in January, he had his first seizure. He's only 2 years old, so it was kind of a surprise to us to have that happen. And he recovered from that first seizure completely. He has been normal ever since. And then over the 4th holiday, he had another grand mal seizure, and this one was more severe. And this one he didn't make a full recovery from. He remained paralyzed in his hindquarters, and as the first day of me nurturing him and nursing him and trying to keep him healthy and alive and okay to hope that the paralyzation would go away, I discovered that he had also either paralyzed or injured his tongue. His tongue was not functioning properly, so he wasn't swallowing. So I realized that when I was trying to give him his meds and he was choking on them. So I had to begin giving him his meds rectally instead. Needless to say, by the next day, I knew he was going. He was transitioning. And I had to stay by his side during that time and pet him and tell him how much he was loved. And it was extremely hard, and it was very traumatic, and it brought back a lot of pain for me for what we've been through in the past year. Yesterday I had a memory come up on my Facebook newsfeed that said it had been a year ago yesterday that we lost Spice. Spice was our first loss. She was our first goat that we ever lost. Last summer we lost 3 more after her, all from the same mysterious illness. And then we lost little Lord Scrumptious, our buckling, from Kitty, who had an apparent birth defect. And then we lost Willow to enterotoxemia. All of the losses were hard. We had other losses too. We lost our little Dotson, Kaiser, who was Ryan's best friend for years before I met him. We lost numerous chickens, including my favorite Gretchen. We lost several ducks, including Mrs. Duck, who you all know was a very special duck. You know, some people say that it's easier to lose the poultry than it is to lose the fur babies. But when it comes to chickens like Gretchen and ducks like Mrs. Duck, I wouldn't say it's easier. I wouldn't. And I think part of what made the chicken loss so hard was that we had so many of them that were so, I mean, coming out to those feathers everywhere, and it was a very traumatic experience to encounter, having ones with mortal injuries that we had to put out of their misery. Just the trauma of it all. Not to mention all of the painful loss of losing our friends and our animals that we considered family. You guys know how close I am to my goats, my cats, and my dogs too. And you know, Mrs. Duck and Gretchen were my feathered babies, and it was hard to lose the other chickens and the other ducks too. It was hard. But I think the trauma of coming down here to find another animal sick or another animal in the throes of death. I mean, I watched Coco take her last breath. I watched Willow take her last breath. I watched Kaiser take his last breath. I watched Fatso take his last breath. And I'll tell you, if you've ever seen or experienced it, it's not calm and peaceful. Even when they're slowly transitioning into death and you think it's just gonna be, they're gonna close their eyes and stop breathing. That's not what happens. Unfortunately, the body has a nervous system, and the nervous system does some pretty ugly things at the end. So I have these scars on my heart and my soul and in my eyes and in my brain, and I am struggling to make sense of it all and to make peace with it. But when you have that many deaths in 1 year's time, there's no doubt in my mind that it has truly damaged me. I almost want to say beyond repair, but I know I can be repaired. I know that I have faith, and I am trying to repair all these scars. Unfortunately, they keep coming up, and every time a new wound is made, it brings up all the old scars. And now I'm facing my senior dog, Leela. She's 15. She's a Great Dane. She should have only lived to be 9 or 10 years old at the most, and she's not doing well. She has days or weeks even that she does great, and then all of a sudden for 2 or 3 days she'll just be like on death's door, and I struggle with, should we have her euthanized? Should we make that step now? And then she'll start acting better, and I'm like, okay, she's bought herself some more time. She's still with us for a little while, but I know her time is soon, and I'm gonna have to face that and deal with that. And you know, living on a farm, we're gonna have other poultry, we're gonna have other goats that die. It's gonna happen, but I'm not sure how much more I can handle. Psychologically, it's become very, very difficult on me. But I've got Ryan's support, and I've got the support from a lot of you viewers have really helped me through some of this, more than you will ever know. And I appreciate that, and I thank you for the kind words. And I really hesitate to even make this video right now because I want my channel to be what's happy and positive. I don't want it to be the death and the sadness. I don't want to. I don't like putting out videos like that. But I also know that what a lot of you have told me that you love about me and my channel is that I'm honest and real, and I don't hide the imperfections. So here they are. Here's the imperfections. And I'm sorry to make anybody sad that didn't want to watch this, but it's just the reality of this life and homesteading. And when you have 100 animals, you're gonna have a lot of deaths. It's just been really hard on me. I'm a very sensitive person. I'm an empath, and I feel so much deeper and stronger than most people do, especially about animals. I've always been more sensitive to animals and loved animals more than anybody ever could imagine. Like, truly, truly love them. They are like my children, very much so. And I have 4 children, and I can still say that my animals are like my children. But thank you guys for sticking by me even through the hard times. I appreciate it. On a happier note, our blueberry bushes that the goats ate are recovering. Look at all the new growth. So we will be able to plant these still. So that's good. We just need to get moving, get them in the ground. As I follow Ryan and the boys back from the barn to the house, him with his bag full of milk, the boys with their pockets full of cherry tomatoes, my feet scooped full of chanterelles and eggs, I realize that above all the pain and suffering, there's so much abundance on this homestead, and so much happiness and so much gratitude. We're so grateful for all of the things that this homestead provides for us.
Hey!
And the kids.
We'll see you next time, Wholesome Roots. This is actually Zuniceratops.
Okay. And grateful for some sweet boys. Gotta love them. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook page and group, and all of those good places. We'll see you next time on Wholesome Roots.